Hello everyone, in this video we're going to have a look at the different types of methods of inheritance, or the different modes in which one can inherit. So let's just dive into it. Class A, alright, and just for making it a bit easier, I'm just gonna use these type of names like ABC, okay, instead of saying parent class, child class, or cat, animal, or any other type of long name. I'm just gonna say A. Okay, by the way, you can name this anything you want, and doesn't have to be capital, but the convention is it's good practice to keep it capital. So the nevertheless, you have these access specifiers like public. Now the question arises when you are inheriting. Okay, so assume I create a class B and I inherit it from class A publicly, right? Now the question is, what does this mean? Why do you do it public? Okay, and then we put another public here. So why do you do this? Why do you have two publics here? Well, this is for the class, okay, the B class, okay, the members inside of it, just like the members of A right here are public. So what this means is that we are inheriting the elements of class A publicly, meaning whatever stuff from class A comes into class B is considered public. So for example, if I create a variable called int age and I make it equal to 9, right, and I create another variable here and I make it, for example, height, okay, and I'm gonna say height is 71. Okay, now I'll come into main function, right, and in the main function I'm going to create a class B instance of class B, and I'm just gonna call this object, okay, and I'm gonna see out object dot age. Let's just go with age, and I'm gonna also see out object dot height, and let me just put the handle right there. Okay, so if I were to come here and say run this program, compilation failure, no such file. Alright, sorry, something wrong. I forgot to actually go into desktop. Now we can run it. Okay, we forgot to actually put the semicolons. Syntax error. Okay, let's compile it. Once we do compile it, right, we run the program. Now we can see that it accessed the age, it printed out the age, which is 9, and 71, which is the height. But here's the thing, age was only printed out because it was public. Public means you can access the stuff outside of the class. Alright, if I were to make this protected, then it would, whatever has been inherited inside of this would not be accessed outside of the class, meaning like in the main function, right? So let me just compile this once again, and it's gonna give us an error, and the reason is that it says it's inaccessible right over here, meaning it's protected, so of course it's inaccessible. Okay, so this is protected inheritance. So whatever function I have here, okay, say I have a function called void and something, and I have another variable, and I have maybe a string variable here, something like that, all of them are considered public, but once I inherit them over here, they are considered protected inside class B, so I cannot access through class B these attributes, but I can however access them through class A. So if I were to say a.obj2, right, and then I can say obj2 dot object2 dot age. So let me just run this out. Something is wrong. forgot the semicolon once again a syntax error. Sorry, where are, okay, there we go. So you can see it actually done the thing, but if I were to say obj.1, right, or obj, then it wouldn't work. Now protected inheritance is used when you want to keep your content or your variables, data members and member functions within classes. So I can go ahead and maybe create class C, right, maybe create another class, and I inherit protected or even public, right, protected, and I would say I would inherit from B. I'm gonna create a multi-level inheritance. Okay, now here I can access the age. Okay, let me show you quick. Let me just show you real quick. Actually I cannot access age because it's protected, but the thing is I can do something like use a function to see out age and then call the function in the main, right? That's something I can do, but we're not going to do that because it's pretty much self-explanatory. Now the next thing I wanted to point your attention to is that like for example, if this is protected, right, and I were to make this public, right, then whatever came from A into B as protected would not just suddenly change into something that's public in B. Alright, it's gonna remain the same, it's gonna remain protected in B. How is that? Well, look, before we get into that concept, let me just point something else out. Let's make it simpler. Assume I have this age variable, and now of course let me just run the program real quick, compile it first, and it's keep on giving us errors one after the other. I don't know why. I mean, this is public. What does it say? Age is inaccessible. Did I save this? Should have saved it. Let's see. Still gives us an error. Let's debug. Age, height. Oh, I see, it's protected. Let's make it public. Right, public. Now of course you can see that it works. We can access it, but look, thing is, if I were to make this not public, okay, if I made this protected, right, and I'm inheriting publicly, this is not gonna change this into public. Okay, so whatever comes from A into B is not gonna be turned into public. Okay, whatever was already protected is gonna be inherited as is inside of class B. I can also have a private, and I can say int phone number. Actually this should have been string phone, and 033. Okay, since it's a string we had to do that. I'm gonna say maybe +1 7791. Okay, so it's a random number. Now private inheritance. So once I actually try to create, obj.age, age is protected, you can't access that, but let's try accessing phone. So I'm just going to say phone, and because it's public inheritance, let's try accessing it now. Let's see if it changes private and protected into public. You can see it says it's private within this context, so you cannot access it. So it doesn't work, which is good. So protected remains protected, private remains private, despite you doing public inheritance. And when you're doing protected inheritance, by the way, before I go ahead, one more thing is, if I were to have public here, something public, okay, maybe I'm going to say the public thing would be the name, string name, right, and the name would be Adam. Right. Then of course you would be able to access the name. So I'm going to say name, and I'm going to just run this program just to show you. Public name, height, perfect, that's fine. String name, where's the error? obj.name. Class B has no member name. Why doesn't it have any member called name? Just give me a moment on this one. Okay, I found the issue. We were missing a semicolon. Can't believe I've missed that. Errors. Okay, so once we compile this program and then once I run it, you can see that it actually prints out the name Adam and 71 height. Alright, now the point of showing you this is that when something is protected inside of a class, right, and private and public, and you inherit publicly, then whatever is like as is, okay, whatever is inside the class is inherited as is. So whatever data member was protected will be inherited as protected. It will stay protected. Whatever was private before will, after the public inheritance, be as is private. Or sorry, okay, here's a mistake. This is a common mistake. Private things never get inherited. Private remains within the class it is. Okay, then public will get inherited. Protected will also get inherited. Private stays in class A. It does not get moved into this public A unless you make this class a friend. Then it would be accessible. Otherwise it wouldn't. If you want to know, you can watch my other video on friend functions. But that's the thing. However, if I make this protected, right, then the protected and the public will now be protected. So this is public. If I were to as well, access object name right now, so I'm just gonna run this, then you can see it's gonna give me an error, and it's gonna say that it's inaccessible. As it says right here, inaccessible within this context is because it is inherited as protected despite it being public, right? And of course, if we do private inheritance, then the thing is that whatever gets inherited will turn into private over here, okay, and this will never get inherited. Even if you do public, even if you do private, even if you do protected inheritance, this would never get inherited. It stays within the class you made it. Alright, so this is just the different types of inheritance with these access specifiers. And yeah, thanks for watching.